In this video, we'll be talking about VAT for Amazon sellers, and to be more specific, we'll be talking about one-stop shop, which is being implemented by European Union starting 2021 July. So my guest Virginijus from One Stop VAT company, they are helping Amazon sellers and other e-commerce business owners with VAT and tax registrations in different countries around the world. And my guest will be explaining this one-stop shop implementation by European Union and how does it affect Amazon sellers. And as always, if you enjoy videos like this, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel of Orange Click the notification bell as well, because here we talk to different Amazon experts and event organizers as well as software creators. Hello Virginijus, it's nice to have you here. Could you please introduce yourself, the company you represent, and how do you help Amazon sellers?
Yeah, hi Augustus, and thank you for inviting. We can help Amazon sellers to stay fully VAT compliant. This means that we can take all their VAT issues. We can handle this. I mean, by handle, I mean that we can register them for VAT purposes in many countries. We can check their sales thresholds, and we can fill their VAT reports.
All right, and in this video we'll be talking about some significant changes which are gonna happen in 2021 in terms of VAT taxes for Amazon sellers. And Virginijus, what exactly you will be sharing with us today in your presentation?
Yeah, so we will share main changes for VAT in 2021. It's mainly will be focused on introduction of one-stop shop system, which is very similar to the currently MOS system, which is only applied to digital goods. And this OSS or one-stop shop system will be applied also to physical goods.
Perfect, sounds good, and I'm sure it will be very useful for a lot of Amazon sellers. We are happy that European Union is simplifying things, and let's learn more about that. So we're ready to jump to the presentation.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so as I said, we will talk about this 2021 e-commerce VAT reform, and let's start from the introduction and from some numbers on e-commerce in Europe. And what we have here in this diagram, we can see that e-commerce sales are growing every year. In 2018, e-commerce sales in Europe were worth 557 billion euros. And in 2020, it's estimated that we will close this 2020 by 717 billion euros. So we see that e-commerce is really growing every year in Europe. And I think it will be the trend also for 2021. And to discuss what's changing from July 2021, we should start from the 2015, when there was a mini one-stop shop scheme was introduced to digital goods, on business to consumer transactions. Following July, as I said, 2021, scope of this one-stop shop scheme will be extended and turning it into a one-stop shop. And we will have the same requirements for physical goods as we have now for digital goods. So what does it mean to online sellers? Basically, it means two things. The first one is that all e-commerce sales will be subject to VAT in the country of destination. And this means that by country of destination, we mean that the country of where is your customer located. And the second thing is that the current thresholds, which are 35,000 euros or 100,000 euros in some countries, For distance sales will be replaced by this new EU-wide 10,000 euro threshold, which is currently applied only to digital goods. EU-wide 10,000 euro thresholds mean that as soon as your annual sales threshold is exceeds 10,000 euros, the general rule of VAT applies, and VAT will be due in the country to which the goods are dispatched or transported. So, yeah, this is I mean, in the country of destination, as I said previously, and this impact of this VAT reform starting from July 2021. Yeah, we see what we have before July 2021. So online seller need to track EU distance selling thresholds in each EU country. Distance selling thresholds within EU countries were from 35,000 euros to 100,000 euros. Before these distance selling thresholds were reached, domestic online sellers had to apply VAT of their country of incorporation or country of registration. And once distance selling thresholds were reached, online sellers were obliged to collect and pay VAT in each EU country separately. And what is changing from July 2021, distance selling thresholds are removed and replaced by this EU-wide 10,000 euro threshold for both digital goods and distance sales. All e-commerce sales will be subject to VAT in the country of destination or in the country of where is your customer located. As I said previously, this MOS scheme for digital goods is extended into OSS or one-stop shop scheme for distance sales of physical goods also. And what is really helpful here is that online sellers will be able to register, report, and pay VAT through this OSS scheme, removing the need for multiple EU VAT registrations and returns. So let's say if you are a seller who is registered for VAT purposes in Lithuania, and you start selling your products into France, to Netherlands, to Belgium, you will collect this VAT from your sales. You will report this VAT to Lithuanian VAT tax authorities, and we will distribute this VAT to Netherlands, to France, to Belgium. So basically, you will have to register in only one country, and these countries' tax authorities will distribute all the VAT which is due in your countries of destination or in the countries where your customers are located. And what's changing also is that online marketplaces like Amazon, like eBay, are becoming VAT collectors. What does this mean? That we are becoming VAT collectors? So this means that online marketplaces, in some cases, will be regarded as deemed suppliers for online sellers who are facilitating these marketplaces for their sales. So consequently, these online marketplaces finally will have to collect and to pay VAT on these sales when they will be treated as deemed supplier. I understand that this deemed supplier definition is quite confusing, so we've prepared this short scheme to make it more understandable for the persons. What does this mean that deemed supplier for EU merchants? So we have EU merchants who are shipping their goods from outside the EU, let's say China, let's say USA, and so on and so on. If the value of these goods are lower than 150 euros, this means that marketplaces will be regarded as deemed supplier. And if marketplace opts for OSS scheme, I mean, if marketplace registers in this OSS scheme, so no VAT obligations on B2G transactions will be applied to EU merchants, as this online marketplace, which is regarded as deemed supplier, will handle all the VAT. But if marketplace doesn't opt for this one-stop shop scheme, import VAT shall be declared and paid at the border for these EU merchants. And if the value of the goods shipped from outside of EU by EU merchants are greater than 150 euros, no, marketplaces in any case shall be regarded as a deemed supplier, and therefore current import VAT rules remain applicable. This means that EU merchants shall declare this import VAT at the border and to pay this import VAT. If goods are shipped from EU by EU merchants, this means that in any case, marketplace will be regarded as a deemed supplier. So merchants can use this one-stop shop scheme for B2C distance sales, or they can, and also remains the requirement to be VAT registered in the countries where they are holding their stock. Okay, so we check what does this mean as a deemed supplier for EU merchants, and what does this mean for non-EU merchants when the marketplaces will be regarded as deemed suppliers. So if the goods are shipped from outside the EU and the value of goods are smaller than 150 euros, online marketplaces will always be regarded as a deemed supplier. And this means that if marketplace opts for one-stop shop scheme, no VAT obligations for B2C transactions will be, let's say, transferred to an online seller, as all these VAT obligations will be handled by the marketplace itself. And if marketplace doesn't opt for OSS scheme, online sellers will have to follow the current import VAT rules, which means that the import VAT will have to be reported and paid at the border during the goods importation to the EU. And if the value of a good shipped from outside the EU are greater than 150 euros, online marketplaces in any case will not be regarded as a deemed supplier, and therefore these current import VAT rules remain applicable to online sellers using these online marketplaces. And what happens to non-EU merchants when goods are shipped from EU? So online marketplaces will always be regarded as a deemed supplier, and therefore we will know VAT obligations arise for B2C transactions to online sellers facilitating such online marketplaces. And VAT registration shall also be done in the countries where your stock is stored. So basically, that's it. The other thing is one which has to be considered is import VAT. So before July 2021, there was a VAT exemption for low value goods. And after July 2021, all imports in the EU will be subject to VAT regardless of their value. But what's worth to mention that 150 euros low value will stay for custom duty relief. I mean that you won't have to pay any custom duty for goods which are worth less than 150 euros, but you will have to pay import VAT on such goods. So the EU believes that this OSS system will simplify the VAT obligations to businesses selling goods B2C through the EU. And the EU believes that this will allow to online sellers to register for VAT electronically in one single member state for all your sales of goods and services to customers located in European Union. It will help online sellers to declare in a single electronic VAT OSS return all your sales and to make a single payment of the VAT due on all these sales of goods and services to the tax authorities in the country you are VAT registered in. And this will also allow online sellers to work with the tax administration of the member state in which they are registered for the OSS. So basically, this will allow them to have these VAT issues handled in their own language, which is very convenient because you don't have to apply for any issues or for any questions regarding VAT in other EU member state tax agencies. So EU is estimating that these new rules will raise more than 7 billion in VAT revenues for member states from its introduction of OSS. And this is mainly because a lot of online sellers, especially the ones who are not based in European Union, are avoiding to register for VAT when they are making sales to European Union customers through online marketplaces or through their own online shops.
Thank you very much for the introduction to One Stop Shop. VAT is a very complex topic, so if you have any additional questions, best that you contact your VAT advisors or contact One Stop VAT company. You will find the contacts below in the description. But from this presentation, I basically understood two things: that there will be no more, there will be no distance selling thresholds anymore, and but they are implementing the rule that if you are selling more than 10,000 euros across all European Union, doesn't matter into which country, then you have to deal with the VAT in other countries. But now there is a one-stop shop, so you just declare your numbers to one chosen authority, to one chosen country. And another takeaway for me was that VAT related to your sales is completely different, has different requirements to the VAT related to where you store your goods. So with the new system, you don't need to register to many countries for VAT if you are selling a lot in other countries. But if you are storing your goods in 7 or 9 countries where Amazon has warehouses, in that case, you still need to have your VAT registrations. And talking about VAT registrations, Virginijus, could you please help us to understand how your company is helping Amazon sellers? Could you give us a little bit more information what you do and how you help?
Yeah, of course. And here is a small presentation about what One Stop VAT is and who we are. So One Stop VAT is focused on helping e-commerce businesses to stay VAT compliant. And to achieve this goal, we represent an integrated network of professionals all over the world, dedicated to assist our clients with VAT registration, with VAT reporting, VAT compliance, and VAT advisory. And therefore, as you know, many countries around the globe implement different VAT rates, different VAT rules and regulations. So it can become confusing and time-consuming burden to stay VAT compliant. So here comes the VAT, and we are able to offer you a guidance and also an automated solution to stay VAT compliant worldwide. What are our pros? So you will have only a single point of contact for all your VAT registrations all over the world. Account manager will be assigned to you, and you will handle all your VAT registrations and VAT returns only with him. We also have a multilingual team. We can speak Russian, Spanish, English, German, Polish. We have a global presence. We have partners all over the world, EU, America, Middle East, Asia. We also have this API, which allows us to offer you automated data aggregation. We are also certified members of international tax associations such as EVA and IATC. It's really easy to start with us, and we also provide a wide range of services, including API integration with your sales channel. Either it's Amazon, either it's your own online shop, we can provide you our API to integrate it with your sales channel. And of course, friendly prices, which are below market average. And what we offer for as our VAT compliance solution. So we start from data aggregation. When we continue with data analysis and monitoring, once we determine that you have reached a threshold in EU or in American states or in any other country worldwide, we notify you about this and we help you to register in these countries where you reach the threshold. And after you are registered for VAT in these countries, we will help you to fill your VAT returns and to pay VAT on time and to avoid any possible penalties.
Thank you very much, Virginijus, for sharing your knowledge. And again, if you have any questions about VAT and VAT compliance in Europe, make sure that you talk to your advisors, tax advisors, and one of them could be One Stop VAT Company. You will find contacts in the description. And actually, Virginijus, could you give us an information how people could get in touch with your team?
Yeah, you can either write us an email. You can fill this contact us form on our website, which is onestopvat.com, or you can call us by a phone, which is also on our website.
Perfect. Thank you very much and good luck in your business. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Augustas. Bye.
I do hope you learned something useful from this video about VAT changes in 2021, and if you need any kind of help with VAT taxes around the world, make sure that you contact One Stop VAT Company. We will find description links below in the description of this video. And now I would like to invite you to watch other video we recorded on our channel where we talk about VAT for Amazon sellers, what you need to know, and the most frequent questions asked.